Hello, you beautiful strangers, and welcome back to another episode of Myth. When last we left off, I had to do some creative editing around a bath scene because their fucking village chief is, well, not a lovely person. So in case I accidentally end up humming during a down section, I have a song stuck in my head. It's a song that gets stuck in my head frequently, and one that nobody will ever do covers for. If you do karaoke streams or vocal covers of songs, if you send me a video or a recording or whatever of you covering Breathing Underwater by Hiatus Coyote, I would be quite happy. I will love you forever or something. Seriously, great song. Great band. An incredible album. One of the best albums of the 2010s. I'm more of a rock metal sort of in general sort of person. I listen to a lot of different stuff, but that's my main forte, and I still think that Choose Your Weapon by Hiatus Coyote is like top 5 albums of the 2010s. So, you know, there's that in case you care. And I'm this is going to be interesting. I'm recording sober because the alcohol that I got Harvey's Bristol Cream Sherry, because I like Fino Sherry quite a lot. I fucking hate this. It tastes like I'm drinking syrup. It's awful. What are you doing, little girl? Yeah, Kitten does not want me to record, so I might have to pause a lot too, because he keeps trying to do stuff to get my attention. So that should be fun. Anyway, without any further stalling, let's get back into it, shall we? Morning. The 3 of them were already in the living room. I was sort of reluctant to greet them, but I did anyway. They didn't respond, naturally. Good morning, pervert. She intentionally acted like she had just noticed me. I could tell from the look on her face that she was upset. It had been a while since I last saw her like that. Riri. I thought Riri might lend me a helping hand. She must have realized that this was all the village chief's fault. Point. She pointed down at the table, so I looked down as well. My breakfast was there, but it was a mess. It was just slop. It didn't seem very appetizing at all. After hesitating for a moment, at least let me apologize. I'm sorry. I decided to eat it. It was natural for them to be angry. What I did was inexcusable. The fact that they even made breakfast for me was a miracle. Breakfast was cold fish and rice, a fitting meal for a criminal like myself. Oddly enough, cold fish, like salmon specifically, either a nice red fish or a strong tasting fish in general. I like salmon a lot. Salmon or tuna, like cold salmon or tuna with some rice with a bit of soy sauce is actually something that I would quite enjoy, especially when I drink super dry wines. I crave salmon to go with it. So that would be quite nice. And like the wine I have sitting next to me that will remain undrinking forever because it's fucking syrupy sweet. I hate sweet wines. I didn't know that was going to be that sweet. How is it? That was just mean. I had to repent for what I did, though, so I nodded. I heard Shimon snicker after I finished eating the charred fish. She was smiling, and so was Riri. They were looking behind me. I turned around and... Kapow, Lewis, 1821. I don't get it. I thought I'd seen So for an instant, but it was already too late. By that time I realized what was happening, I was already looking up at the ceiling. What are you looking at, girl? I don't know. I think people are fucking around with fireworks outside again, so, yeah. It's like a week after 4th of July, goddammit. And it's a fucking Tuesday. Anyway. The pain in my hips indicated that she had thrown me over her shoulder. I got up and... Damn. So was really mad. I didn't know why though, so I sought an explanation from Shimon and Nidhi. Are you a moron? Oh yes. Congratulations. They all started clapping for some reason. It was like it was something out of an anime. I couldn't figure out why they were doing it though. And for some reason, I have the audio from this going through my audio interface into my headphones, because I pretty much use my audio interface for the volume level, because it has a volume knob, so I can get me the volume exactly how I want it. And the audio quality is a slight bit better than to the 3.5 millimeter jack on my fucking laptop. Yeah, there we go. PC computer thingy. This thing sitting in front of me. But yeah, so I have to adjust it frequently for this because the volume is weird in this, but it's consistent in recordings. It's just very loud. On my end anyway. Didi, explain. She immediately answered my question. This is the result of two things coming together at once. She was beating around the bush, but I had no choice but to wait for her to continue. 1. So-san said she wanted to try cooking. 2. We decided to use that to make you feel better because we knew you'd be worried about what happened yesterday. I think I get it. They tricked me. They used So's awful cooking to trick me into thinking they deliberately made an unappetizing breakfast to get revenge for last night. So, surprised? I am, but are you guys gonna forgive me? I'm all smiles. Check it out. I will if you've reflected on your actions. Be careful of poisonous frogs. I'm just gonna take that as a yes. Thankfully, So's cooking wasn't very good. It was perfect for startling you with. Shimon said some mean things without a hitch sometimes. Not that I thought she was being particularly malicious, but no one can stand up to the likes of Inspector Widget. That is a reference to something I don't get. I don't know. The problem is that it sounds so familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on it. So didn't seem to care either. That was pretty awful though, toying with my emotions like that. No, I guess Riri did say that they wanted to make me feel better. Oh God, Inspector Widget. So it's Inspector Gadget reference, kind of. And I don't remember the Inspector Gadget theme. It's been a long time since I've watched Inspector Gadget. Man, that brings me back to childhood memories that are barely there. Feels good. I think they actually did, at least. Penny, I'm out of here. Another Inspector Gadget thing, huh? Yeah. Because it was Inspector Gadget. Penny was his niece, I think. And then she had a dog whose name I can't remember. And then like Mr. Claw or some dude with a claw or something like that was the bad. I don't remember. God, I don't remember the last time. I genuinely have very vague memories of watching Inspector Gadget as a very young kid, and that is it. So said that after we finished breakfast. Oh, where to? Classified information. So looked at Lady and me. Oh, that's what she meant. Lady and I are gonna leave too. I stood up. Boo, what about the search for the voice? On hold for today. And I'm going with you guys. No, I need you to stay home. Huh? Why? Katomi might come over with some new information concerning the voice. Plus, we can't just leave the place empty. I just made up some random lie. Fine. She sulked, but I can understand why. No one likes being left out. Sometimes you get used to it. Well, this would only last for another 2 days. All so we could see Simone smile when her birthday rolled around. Let's hear the plan. I wanted to hear if he had an actual plan in mind after he boasted about it yesterday. Is it just me, or did this get very, dusky, twilight sort of? Twilight sort of looking I don't know. It also looks more so on my second monitor. I have the color saturation on my second monitor turned up because I use it for... I basically have my second monitor for OBS and for this, but I also have it because I watch things like as background noise on that. I'll just have it on there. These higher saturation and contrast makes it easier to pick out if anything's happening. It doesn't matter. I'm rambling about nothing important. I told you to leave it to me, didn't I? The chief took out a bundled up piece of cloth and spread it before us. Inside were a number of petals. They had dyed the cloth somewhat. Are you planning on somehow shooting those into the air? We. Okay. French, bit of French there. Not like Japanese. Russian's pretty popular in manga. Might use English, and because they used English, they're using French or something. I don't know. German would be fun one. Yeah, it would be fun one. Whatever. I expected this, honestly. It was my own fault, though, since I described it the way I did. I was curious why he needed to wait a day to tell us that, though. Anyway, it seemed like this was how the chief wanted to recreate fireworks. It would be a crude implementation, but it wasn't a bad idea. We could easily accomplish that in this world. It might even be something really special if we did it right. Either way, we had made some progress. How did these look compared to the real thing, Mato? You said they're like an explosion of petals in the sky, so I thought it'll kind of work, but... Well, it's similar, yeah. The problem is, how are we going to get them into the sky? We use gunpowder to launch real fireworks, but with this method, we'll just have to pray the wind's blowing in the right direction. Just dropping from high ground. The highest spot in the village, then? Nah, higher than that. Otherwise, we gotta have her go there. That's true. We should do it suddenly to really surprise her. Plus, if you're gonna have her move, then the only option would be the veranda. Right. If we took her someplace, the petals wouldn't be in the sky for too long. And, like Hitomi said, it would just make it obvious that we were up to something. Look at this. My water bottle's lid wasn't entirely on, and I spilled a bit of water on myself. Oh well. I've spilled worse things on me before. I've spilled beer and wine, because I'm horrible. I have a very bad habit of setting stuff where in the perfect location where I will bump my desk and they will spill on me. But I don't do that anymore. Well, on my old desk, not the current desk. My current desk gets higher, so that's not an issue anymore. My old desk set was like right above my knees, so I would bump it and spill stuff on. Anyway, would this really work? I don't think the wind's going to work out in our favor. I'm rambling a lot for being completely sober. There's a mountain behind Shimon's house. If you drop the petals from there, it'd be easy. I guess that's better than waiting for the wind. Still, it depends on luck. I wasn't a fan of that, but... Ain't gonna happen unless we make it happen. Let's give it a shot. The firework idea is great in itself. I think it's worth trying to see if it'll work before thinking of something else. I agree with So-San. I'll do whatever you guys want. Me too. Everyone seemed to be in agreement, which meant I had to go along with it. Alright, then let's discuss how we're going to make this actually happen. I got comfortable. The most important thing will be the amount of petals. The rest will depend on whether those petals will reach Shimon's house. Which means that we need as many petals as possible to increase the chances of them getting that far. Picking petals ain't easy either. It took me all night to gather the ones I showed you guys. I guess he gathered all of those petals after we peeped on the girls last night. That's all he was able to find? No, I guess that made sense since he was the only one doing it. Anyway, I'm surprised you actually managed to do this. Maybe the whole peeping thing yesterday was to throw us off guard? Don't get the wrong idea, not a dummy. It ain't like I'm just doing it for Shimon's sake. Oh, you're a fucking tsundere. Got it. You're blushing. No. I was probably wrong about that, though. He's a fucking tsundere is what he is. And then we should split up the work. Are you going to be able to do this with just us? The chief wore an intrepid smile on his face. Yeah. Do you have any other ideas? It's showtime. He snapped his fingers. Finally our time to shine? Been keeping us waiting long enough. Kept you waiting, huh? Jeez. God, I should replay the Metal Gear series. One of my favorite video game series of all time, and I haven't touched a Metal Gear game in like 2 or 3 years. And that was getting the Carotens 3. God, I should replay Metal Gear. Hell, maybe I should fucking play Metal Gear Solid 1, like, as a next series. That's a thought. That's a thought. A number of people showed up from the veranda. Looks like you guys need my help. I'll help out. Tens of people showed up, each one of them saying some silly things as they appeared. Who are all these people? We are the villagers. The shadow people let out a triumphant roar. I'll need a better name than that. So was horsing around, but the tone of her voice made it obvious that she was excited too. I told them about Shimon's birthday and they all wanted to help. And this will be more than enough to make our plan a success. Yeah. I looked around. There must have been 30 people of all ages and gender. Just thinking about the crowded market made me think that this was every villager there was. If there was tens of people in this village and that's it, that's not enough to make a sustainable population without a significant amount of inbreeding. But what do I know? I'm just somebody that studies the history way too fucking much. Never mind. So you're Tanabe-kun, huh? Yeah? How'd you know? I asked the elderly shadow how they knew that. Heard from the chief. Saw you at the market. I wanted to talk with you. Me too. I want to know about that other world. Tell us all about it. All right. I was a little hesitant, but I agreed. You can do that later. We've got stuff to do. I know that. This is all for Smonchan after all. Let's gather those petals. To make her smile. I'm gonna get the first one. Focus on quality, not quantity. We need pretty petals. I was dumbfounded watching them get so fired up. I never would have thought this many people would get excited over someone's birthday. I wish as many people would get excited over my birthday. No, I'm kidding. I genuinely don't. I don't really care so much about celebrating my birthday. I've never been one that like really desires attention from others in that sort of way. Yeah, anyway, Kotomi's house was so packed that the temperature seemed to be rising inside. Oh, right. I'm to gather some petals. Follow me. Yeah. So when the chief raced towards the village with the villagers trailing behind, Kotomi and Hibiki joined them as well. How inefficient. They aren't the brightest bunch. I probably would have thought that in the past, at least. Everyone's all worked up. We should do our best, too. Yeah. It had been so long since I last ran like this. There was never any need for me to run in my world. You know, other than exercise? Never mind. By the time I reached the meadow, my sides had begun to hurt. My sides throbbed in pain, but it wasn't unpleasant. In fact, it made me smile. Alright, let's do this. Yeah! Our voices echoed in the clear blue sky. The village chief and those of us who originally came up with the plan were in charge. It looks like we have a roughly equal amount of elderly women, children, and youth. Us youth should support the rest. Sure. You seem strong. Could I ask you to take charge of the more dangerous places where flowers might be? Leave it to me. Lady and I assigned positions to the villagers. Men are hunters. Make your body and mind as sharp as an arrow. Roger. What should we do? You bumbling idiots. Don't let me down. Mr. So, you're so cute. Seriously? So and the chief spearheaded our efforts. And some rice balls? Well, good job. I brought you some water. Hitomi and Hibiki were in charge of distributing food, water, and first aid. With this many people, that sort of thing was an absolute necessity. Things were going smoothly, though. I had never spoken with this many people before, and although I was nervous, I think I did an okay job. Looks like we can take a breather. Duty assigned the last shadow their position and then sat down beside a tree. Good job. Yep. Thanks. Hibiki handed me some water intended for Didi and me. Then I passed a cup to Didi. Worky, worky, yep. She ran off after that. I was so glad. I was glad she was so energetic, enthusiastic. Hibiki's doing a great job. It's not even like this is for her sake. I sat down beside Didi as I muttered that to myself. I don't know why I said that, but I wasn't expecting an answer as I gazed at the busy shadows. Everyone loves Shimon-san. I knew that. That's why everyone wanted to work hard. It was very important. Didi stopped talking after that. She must have been exhausted. I didn't have anything else to say either. You boobs, aren't you gonna do some work? The chief came over shouting at us after a little bit. We just finished assigning positions to everyone. Let us rest for a moment. This is why you youngins are such bums. He sighed. How's your work going? Didi cut in. Well, you two just came over here once you're done with that. Come and pick some flowers. Interestingly, isn't picking flowers an old euphemism that women would use whenever they're going to go use the restroom? Whatever. I don't know why I remember that. Huh? We're supposed to be the ones separating the petals from the buds, though. Oh, that's right. Well, just do whatever then. He didn't even answer Didi. Of course not. We'd get back to work after a few more minutes. Didi had become so quiet that I felt compelled to look over at her. 8 days. She looked over at me too. It feels like I've known everyone forever. 8 days feels so much longer than it actually is. Right. It had only been 8 days since we met. I was able to meet and learn so much from them in just those 8 days. I couldn't figure out why we got along so well. Usually, 8 days alone isn't enough for that. That's a scene change at that. Okay. So-chan. Don't worry, it's not serious. So was all right, but I'm fine. Things are actually great. Her injury shouldn't have just been ignored either. She stepped into a deep pit and tripped by accident. She seemed to have a bruised and cut her leg. It'd probably be a good idea for her to get some rest. So, enough. You should get back home and rest. Don't wanna. I knew this from the moment I met her, but she tried really hard to act like an adult. She'd sometimes say wise things, and she was obsessed with dirty jokes. She was like a child, but at the same time, not one at all. Seeing her pout like that was interesting. You shouldn't force yourself to keep working. You'll just end up hurt. Edo-san is right. You should rest. Didi jumped in. She had a serious expression on her face. You could tell she was worried about So. Don't wanna. She was silly. She probably wasn't even considered the idea that her injury could worsen if she wasn't careful. Look, I understand how you feel. You want to do your best for Shimon's sake. Fuck, making 2 S words in a row like that? Ugh. But think about it. If your injury worsens to the point where you can't even move around, then she's going to be upset. I stretched the truth a bit, but I had to take that chance. I didn't think her injury would reach that point, but I was betting on So not realizing that. It seemed to have worked. She looked down with an upset expression. She prioritized others before herself. That's why she tried so hard to get Hibiki and I to be friends and to start this birthday party thing. Although I made it sound like Shimon would be sad if So tried to do her best for her. That was kind of mean of me. So-san? Lily spoke up. Her tone was gentle. You don't have to gather flowers, and I'm not going to tell you to go back home. So why don't you join us and help separate the petals from the buds? Okay. So seemed to agree. Katomi-san, is that okay? Should be fine. I don't think her leg will get infected since I wrapped it with a bandage. That's good. Mito-san? Yeah, I know. I had to take charge of everyone. Once the sun sets, we're done. Let's keep going for a little while longer. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was a good substitute, but I had to do my best. Cut all the flowers here. Captain, how's this look? Not good. Purple petals won't stand out at night. We need bright colors. It made me think about what separated us from the from shadows. For me, there was something that had separated them from us before, and that was disgust. I didn't feel anything like that for them anymore, though. They were humans, just like us, or at least that's what I was telling myself at first. But now... Nice, that's perfect. Just keep going for a little while longer. All right. The sun finally set. The last group handed us their petals and headed home. Just a main group of us were left in the meadow, and silence soon dominated the landscape. Guess we'll be heading on back too. We all headed home, following the chief. I'll hold on to the petals for now. That was for the best. We couldn't hold on to them since we lived at Shimon's house, and there was always the possibility that she would go to visit Katomi. So was still sulky. She must have been upset about not helping all that much later on. There's nothing wrong with separating the petals. You were a big help. That's right. You did great. Yep. Oh, I'm sad now. The yep thing reminding me of Ducky from Land Before Time. Everyone agreed with me. I was trying to cheer her up, but I wasn't lying, and I'm sure everyone else realized that. So just wasn't happy, though. I heard her mutter to herself as we walked home. I have to do it, otherwise I won't be able to say happy birthday to her and mean it. Just when I was beginning to think that it'd be tough to convince So to rest tomorrow, too. I realized just how much of a stickler she was for some things. I recalled what she said before. Do your best and you'll be rewarded, and that's great. That's what life's all about. She probably wasn't even thinking about the fact that we were worried about her. That was very like her, but she really was an idiot. And, of course, I think this is where I'm going to be ending off this episode. So, next time, well, we have this nice little scene in the other world, and where we will apparently chat with Loki-san. Well, I hope to see you all there.